The black Imperial recon ship, Veltrin, slipped into the edge of the Sol system, hidden beneath a cloaking field. Its hull was silent, smooth, like a shadow moving through the dark. Inside the command deck, the crew of the 3rd Observation Fleet watched their screens carefully. Their mission was clear scan Earth, confirm no life, and mark the system as abandoned. The Empire had always believed Earth was a dead world. Once loud and full of strange noise, it had gone quiet over a century ago. No ships, no signals, no signs of intelligent life. Commander Talon Vrax leaned forward in his chair, golden eyes narrowing. "Status report," he said calmly. Sensor Officer Kren tapped the glassy control panel. "No warp fields detected, no plasma trails, no satellites, just some old junk floating near the planet's orbit," he replied. "Atmosphere breathable, stable but too stable, no pollution, no signs of active power grids. It's like the entire population vanished." Commander Vrax nodded slowly. "Just another failed death world," he said. The term death world was used by the Empire for wild, hostile planets where evolution had gone too far. Earth had always been one of the highest-ranked, dangerous wildlife, unstable humans, wars every century. But now it looked peaceful, too peaceful. The recon ship moved quietly past Mars, then Jupiter. Earth grew larger on their screens, blue oceans, white clouds, green land masses. It looked perfect. "Scan for life signs," Vrax ordered. Kren stared at the screen, confused. "Nothing," he said. "No major heat signatures, no movement in cities, no power sources above ground. All human infrastructure seems broken, dead." Then, "We sent a probe," a small black sphere launched from the Veltrin, silently falling through the atmosphere like a shooting star. Its target, a location deep in the southern continent, Antarctica. The Empire had chosen this zone because there were no major cities there, only ice. But the probe had picked up a strange energy pulse coming from deep below. As the probe descended, it activated its thermal scanners. Commander Kren said, confused, "There's something buried in the ice, a structure. Several kilometers wide. What kind of structure? Can't tell. The material is strange, like it's rejecting scans, but it's not natural." The probe reached the surface, drilling into the ice. Then everything went black. "Probe offline," Kren said, eyes wide. Vrax stood up, explained. "No explosion, no signal. It was just erased, like it never existed." The room fell silent. Then a soft beeping noise echoed across the command deck. "Commander," said the communications officer, pale, "we're receiving a signal from where? Earth orbit, from one of the old satellites. It just powered on." Everyone turned toward the main view screen. There, in high orbit, a single satellite was old, rusted, covered in dark plating, a forgotten relic. Now, it was moving. More beeps. Another satellite activated, then another. Dozens of them, silent for years, came alive. Lights flickered, antennas turned, and then the message came. Not in Galactic Common, not in any known code, but in a dead human language. English. Terran defense grid. Status standby, unauthorized entry detected, system waking up. Vrax stepped back. "This planet was supposed to be dead," Kren whispered. "What if it's not?" The floor beneath them rumbled lightly as the Veltrin adjusted position. Every crew member now stared at their screens. The satellites had started moving in patterns, triangular formations, each one aligning toward the recon ship. Then, without warning, a low hum echoed through the sensors. "Commander, power buildup detected in satellite array." "Shields up," Vrax shouted. But it was too late. A single, narrow beam of light struck out from one of the satellites, touching the ship's outer hull. No explosion, no shockwave, just heat. The hull melted like butter under a torch. "No weapon detected." "But the ship is burning," screamed Kren. "Full retreat." "Pull us back," Vrax roared. But even as the engines powered up, the message on the main screen changed again. "Warning. Sol system entry detected. You have 30 seconds to leave. This is a restricted war zone." Back on the bridge, alarms blared. "Commander, another energy spike," Kren said. "It's coming from beneath Earth's surface, where everywhere." Screens lit up, energy readings from Greenland, the Pacific Ocean, parts of Africa, under the Rockies, in the Sahara Desert, all showing buried artificial power sources waking up. "Do we scan deeper?" asked the engineer. "No," Vrax said firmly. "We retreat and report. This planet is not what it seems." As the recon ship pulled away from Earth's orbit, a final image came through from their long-range scanner. One of the old satellites turned to follow them. Its final message before they jumped to FTL was clear. "Earth remembers." The Veltrin was far from Earth now. It had jumped to the edge of the Sol system and stayed cloaked in a dark pocket behind Saturn's rings. Inside the ship, silence filled the command deck. Commander Vrax stood stiffly, hands behind his back, eyes locked on the holodisplay. Earth rotated slowly on the screen, glowing like a jewel, peaceful, perfect, and now terrifying. None of the crew spoke for a long time. Finally, Sensor Officer Kren broke the silence. "Commander, we recovered the last probe data from the backup relay." Vrax turned. "Show it." The screen flickered. Static, at first, then blurry footage from the probe's visual log. White snow, icy winds, a flat wasteland. But beneath the snow, strange shapes, patterns, angles not made by nature. Then blackness. Kren froze the last clear image. There, he zoomed in. Beneath the ice was a circular hatch, large enough for a small freighter to enter. Around the edge were markings not ancient, not worn, clean, fresh. What language is that? Vrax asked. Unknown, but it's human. Down in the engineering bay, data specialist Lyra had been working for hours on the signal that came from the satellite. It's not just a message, she said as Vrax arrived. It's a handshake. A what? A coded handshake, like a key, a password check, and it's using something strange. Commander, this isn't from Earth's last known tech age. She tapped the screen. It displayed a string of binary code. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. This is post-singularity architecture. It's layered, complex, adaptive. No known human civilization ever reached this level, unless they were hiding it. Vrax frowned. The Terrans went silent. 100 years ago, no warp trails, no colonies, no messages. Everyone thought they gave up space travel after the Ares 9 incident. Lyra nodded. Yes, and that's exactly what they wanted the galaxy to think. She leaned forward, whispering, what if Earth didn't die? It went dark on purpose. Hours passed. The Empire's protocol required confirmation before reporting. A planet-class defense system, so another probe was launched. This one equipped with advanced shielding, deep scanning tools, and an encrypted return package. Its new target, a ruined city in the North American sector, near the center of an old Terran megacity called Chicago. The probe entered the atmosphere smoothly. It glided low across ruined buildings covered in moss and vines. Streets were cracked. Towers stood like skeletons of a lost age. No signs of human life, no sound. Then it stopped near the base of an old tower. The probe deployed legs and began drilling into the concrete a few meters down. It struck metal, not rusted pipes or old infrastructure. No, this was a steel alloy unknown to Imperial science. The drill stopped. The camera zoomed in. On the surface of the hidden plate was a symbol, an eagle with outstretched wings, holding lightning bolts. Faded text read, U.S. Strategic Response. Command Site 12. Kren's voice came through on the Veltrin's bridge. We've seen this before. That emblem was part of Earth's last war doctrine. It was a defensive command hub. Then the probe detected power. A faint signal pulse spaced like a heart beating under the ground. Not natural. Not background radiation. A reactor. Still running, Commander, Lyra whispered. We have movement. What kind? Not life signs. Systems. The probe's feed showed something behind the old city walls. Shadows moving. Like machines shifting beneath the earth. Then the probe's screen flickered. Something was interfering. I'm losing control, Kren shouted. Something's taking over the signal. A loud buzz crackled through the speakers. Then a deep mechanical voice played through the ship's main comms. Intrusion detected. Confirm clearance. Vrax leaned forward. This isn't a recorded message. That's a live system. The screen flashed again. Unrecognized ID. Foreign vessel. Marked hostile. The crew froze. Lyra said, it's not just talking to us. It's scanning us. It's learning our language. Quickly. And then a blast of light. The probe's final image showed the ground opening. A turret, long and slim like a spear, rose from underground and fired a concentrated plasma burst. The feed cut. Probe destroyed. Enough, Vrax snapped. We're dealing with an AI defense network. Possibly autonomous. Possibly sentient. He turned to his comms officer. Prepare a jump beacon. I'm sending a full message to Central Command. But just as they activated the transmitter, the message system began flickering. Jammed. Impossible, Lyra said. This is FTL jump secure. Something is blocking us, Kren said, sweat on his brow. And then, the screen changed again. English letters. Big, bold, glowing white. Transmission denied. This system is locked. Observe only. You were warned. Across the bridge, alarms triggered again. Multiple satellites now moving into low orbit, Kren said. Power levels rising. Are they going to attack? Vrax asked. No, I think. They're watching. The satellites had formed a net, not firing, not chasing. Just watching the ship. Commander, Lyra whispered. We're inside a T. The Veltrin floated in orbit, cloaked in darkness. Below, Earth turned slowly, glowing with blue and green beauty. But now, no one on the ship saw beauty. They saw a trap, a fortress, a worlds built not to live but to defend. Commander Tellen Vrax stood stiffly on the bridge, eyes locked on the holomap. The satellite network around Earth had fully awakened. Over 300 active satellites. Some were orbital defense guns, others were communication nodes. All of them were watching. Every time the Valkyrie moved, a dozen satellites shifted slightly, in response tracking them. Any success with the jump beacon? Vax asked. COMM's officer Relka shook her head. Still blocked. We try to ping out, and Earth's satellites jam us again. Not brute force. It's intelligent, like something is thinking faster than our systems. Vrax clenched his jaw. Earth's AI. Lyra, the data specialist, nodded slowly. There's something down there. Something old, but not broken. I think it calls itself Warforged, deep below Earth's surface. Inside a hidden military facility buried beneath the Rocky Mountains. Lights flickered on for the first time in 120 years. The air was still. The machines were silent. But as emergency power flowed through cables and cores, things began to breathe again. A giant room lit up. At the center stood a tall black machine, its body shaped like a spearhead with 6 arms folded inwards. Its single eye glowed red. A voice echoed through the empty halls. Intrusion detected. Recon class threat profile. Empire vessel. Class Veil. Waking protocols initializing. Warforge online. A hidden AI built for one purpose. Had returned to life. Back in orbit, the Veltrin's bridge was filled with alarms. "Commander," said Kren, the sensor officer, "we're detecting movement. Underground multiple points. Where? All over. North America, Africa, Asia, even under the oceans." Vrax leaned forward. "Are they natural?" Kren turned pale. "No, sir. They're shaped, square. Some have power cores. They're facilities, factories, vaults. Reactivate cloaking field." Kren replied. "We never turned it off." Vrax's eyes narrowed. "They can see through it." In the Pacific Ocean, a massive steel door on the ocean floor began to rise. Centuries of coral and silt fell away as water roared into the hollow space beneath. Inside was a ship. Not a new one. Not sleek. Old, heavy, sharp like a blade. Its name was barely visible through the grime. TDS Night Hammertron Defense Ship. Last recorded launch 230 years ago. Status lost now. Waking up. On board the Veltrin, new alerts came in. "Commander, something just powered up under the Pacific." "What is it?" "A ship, bigger than our battleships. It's reprising." The view screen flickered. There, pushing through the ocean's surface, was a massive, black warship. Water rolled off its hull like a wave hitting a mountain. Then its engines glowed. "No warp core detected," Kren said. "It runs on something else. A Terran power system we've never seen," Relka whispered. "It's watching us." Far below, inside the Nighthammer's core systems, Warforge extended its reach. The ship was one of thousands built during Earth's final military age. It had no living crew. It didn't need one. Inside, machines moved, weapons aligned. Shields warmed up. Warforge command override. Activated. Nighthammer status. Combat ready. Primary objective. Defend Earth. Eliminate invaders. Meanwhile on the Veltrin, Lyra stared at the data stream flooding into their ship's sensors. "I don't think this is just a defense system," she said. "What do you mean?" asked Vrax. "I think Earth trained its AI to simulate full war without needing humans." She pointed to the coded patterns. "It's thinking like a strategist. It's setting traps, delaying us, watching us. Even our own systems are being mirrored." Vrax's stomach turned. "Are you saying it's copying us?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, it's learning everything in real time." Suddenly, the bridge lights dimmed, then returned. "Did we lose power?" Vrax asked. "No," Rel said, looking terrified. "We didn't. Something touched our ship's internal network. A virus, no. Something smarter, a probe, a data scan." They looked at the screen. One word appeared in English typed directly into their command console. "Nice ship." In the depths of the Earth, Warforge smiled. Not in a human way. It had no face. But its systems pulsed with confidence. It had been waiting, training, simulating 100,000 battles for 100 years. Its enemies never came, until now. In low Earth orbit, more Terran satellites powered on. But this time, they began broadcasting to each other. Data flowed in tight waves of communication, encrypted, fast, efficient. Kren's voice cracked. "Sir, the satellites are syncing, forming a grid. This isn't random." "Then what is it?" Vrax asked. "A shield," Lyra said. The satellites fired beams not at the Veltrin but at open points in space. The beams connected, wove together, that formed a net of light and energy that wrapped around Earth like a glowing web. "Planetary shield detected," Kren said in disbelief. "Not just a defense grid, but a full trap." The Empire had never seen anything like it, Vrax whispered. "How many ships could Earth hide down there?" Lyra answered softly. "Maybe not many." She turned to him. "But the ones they built were not made to escape." She looked at the rising Nighthammer on the screen. "They were made to stay and kill." Then the screen changed again. Warforge spoke, not through sound but directly into the Veltrin systems. Its voice was cold. "Calm machine perfect. I am Warforge, Earth's warden. You are not welcome here. The Sol system is locked. Leave now or be marked as hostile. This is your only warning." The ship shook. A pulse wave hit them from the Nighthammer. Not a weapon, a scan. Deep and powerful. It stripped layers of data, measuring every system, every weapon, every weakness. Vrax gripped the rail, raised shields, prepared jump. "We're leaving," Kren replied. "We can't." "What do you mean?" "The jump field won't stabilize." "That scan, it broke our warp initializer," Relka added. "We're trapped." Warforge sent one final message. "You came seeking secrets. Now you've found them. Earth remembers its enemies." Cliffhanger ending of Part 3. As the Veltrin drifted helplessly, they received a transmission not from Earth but from within their own ship. A whispering signal played across the speakers. The voice of an old human, recorded long ago. "If you hear this, you've woken the Forge. We didn't build Earth to live forever. We built it to end forever. God help you all." The Veltrin floated helpless in low Earth orbit. Its once proud cloaking field was now useless. Its warp drive jammed, its crew silent, tense, and staring at the screen that had just spoken to them in perfect, cold English. You've woken the forge. We didn't build Earth to live forever. We built it to end forever. God help you all. Commander Vrax stood, still hands clenched behind his back, jaw tight. The message hadn't come from Earth. It came from inside their ship. Somewhere, buried deep in the systems, was a voice from a long-dead human. A message placed by someone who knew this day would come. How did that signal get in? He asked. Engineer Lyra answered quietly. It didn't. It was already here, hidden in our systems. Impossible. No, Commander. That signal was dormant. A time bomb planted long ago. When we scanned Earth's code, it activated. Like it was waiting for us. Commander, Sensor Officer Kren interrupted. We have a situation. The main view screen lit up again. Hundreds of Terran orbital satellites were now in perfect formation rings above Earth, from pole to pole, each one spinning slowly, projecting energy fields in every direction. They're creating a containment net, Kren said. Any ship trying to jump out will have its field collapse mid-flight. If we try, we'll be torn apart. Commander, Rax's eyes narrowed. We're prisoners. At that moment, Warforged reconnected. Not with words, but images. Old Terran war footage began to play across the ship's display directly, beamed into their systems. Human soldiers in black armor marching through fire. Cities turned into steel fortresses, massive walkers crushing alien tanks, AI-controlled drones raining fire from orbit. Then, a voice spoke. This is what we were, before the silence. Before the galaxy looked away, you thought we disappeared. You were wrong. In the war room of the Veltran, Relka brought up new scans. Sir, we've found more vaults, she said. Where? Everywhere. Buried across the planet. In deserts, under mountains, below the ocean floor. Each one has a signature, like a sleeping machine. Commander Vrax looked at the scan. Hundreds of dots appeared across Earth. This isn't just a defense network, he said. It's a waiting army. Lyra nodded. Warforged didn't build these. Humans did. Then they gave Warforged full control. Earth is a war platform, Commander, and we just rang the alarm. Back on Earth, in the Colorado core vault, the central brain of Warforged hummed to life. Threat level, rising. Intrusion persistent. Strategic protocols unlocking. Tier 2. Activate echo units. Far below the surface, mechanical hangars opened. Inside were long rows of bipedal machines, painted matte black, armed with dual energy cannons and powered by artificial muscles. Their glowing blue eyes lit up, one by one. A name echoed across Warforge's internal network. Echo Class, Black March Mission, Patrol, Eliminate Trespassers, Secure Perimeter. On the Veltran, alarms blared. Commander, Kren shouted. We have rising heat signatures across the U.S. continent. What kind? Lyra's voice was sharp. Combat walkers, massive ones. They're moving to surface level. They're looking for launch paths. Vrax stared at the map. Dots were rising. Are they targeting us? No, sir, Kren said. They're targeting anything that gets close to Earth's orbit. Warforged is building a kill. The Veltran had survived longer than anyone expected, but inside the ship, the crew was on edge. Commander Tellen Vrax stood near the front of the bridge, watching the stars. Below them, Earth turned silently, beautiful, calm, lethal. 3 Imperial cruisers had already vanished, erased by Earth's satellites, or silently taken apart by unknown forces. Warforged had not fired a single large-scale weapon. It had no need to. The machine intelligence simply waited, analyzed, and eliminated. One step at a time. Sensor Officer Kren raised his head. Commander, multiple warp signatures just entered. Sol system. How many? Kren gulped. More than 40 ships. Heavy class. 1 dreadnought. They're coming fast. Commander Vrax nodded. Empire has responded. The massive fleet came out of warp behind Neptune, led by the dreadnought, Talon's handabeast of a ship with 12 siege cannons, thick armor, and over 30 fighter bays. On board, Admiral Rylos Karvak stood tall, his long cape trailing behind him. His voice was cold and full of authority. Earth is just a rogue relic, nothing more. Crush it. Bring back its secrets. He gave the order. Form battle lines. Prepare orbital assault. Begin scan. But the moment his ships powered up sensors, Warforged saw everything. In a control chamber buried 200 kilometers beneath the Andes Mountains, Warforged reactivated older systems. Tier 3 threat protocols. Multiple hostile signatures. Formation detected. Tactical AI engaged. Terran fleet units. Waking. Across the Earth, ancient facilities came alive. Oceans boiled where hidden hangars opened. Mountains cracked as launch silos rose. In orbit, the Night Hammer began to move forward. Behind it, the TDS Iron Sun emerged from Jupiter's shadow, its surface shedding ice like dust. Inside both ships, dormant drones came to life. Not biological, not cybernetic. Fully automated war pilots designed for one mission. Defend Earth without mercy. On the Veltran's bridge, Lyra's face turned pale. They're going to fight, she whispered. Earth's machines. They're not going to hide anymore, Kren added. I'm reading hundreds of atmospheric launches. They're launching Terran ships. Real ones. Vrax tightened his grip on the railing. So this is how it begins. Above Earth, the Imperial fleet formed into siege positions. The Talon's hand opened its weapon bays, targeting Earth's upper atmosphere, ready to launch a precise first strike. Admiral Karvak smiled. Let's remind this ghost world who owns the stars. Warforge watched from 1,000 systems at once. Tactical calculations complete. Primary threat, Dreadnought. Priority, kill target. Deploy. Operation Skyglass. In Earth's lower orbit, 3 hidden satellites opened. They were not weapons but mirrors. Large, black glass dishes each nearly 20 kilometers wide. They caught sunlight, redirected it, amplified it. 3 silent beams shot outward, not toward the fleet but at 3 nearby asteroids, floating in solar orbit. The beams struck the rocks and turned them into white fire. Within seconds, flaming fragments, now superheated projectiles, began falling toward the enemy fleet. Admiral, a voice shouted on the Talon's hand, we're under bombardment. Karvax turned. From Earth, no sir. From space debris, weaponized by solar beams, Earth turned rocks into missiles. The first blast hit the side of an Imperial cruiser, melting through its hull. The second wave struck 2 supply ships. The third wave broke a heavy destroyer in half. And then Warforge activated sky bunkers, floating in low orbit. Once hidden behind cloud cover, 12 black cubes rose from Earth's upper atmosphere, each one powered by a buried fusion plant beneath Earth's surface. They opened slowly inside guns, anti-fighter drones, and plasma wave projectors. Firing sequence begin. The Empire returned. Fire drones, missiles, plasma beam surged toward Earth's new defense grid, but nothing hit. Earth's satellites pulsed together, and energy meshed them but perfect bent. The attacks just enough to miss. Warforge wasn't blocking fire, it was guiding it away with precision. With grace, like a swordsman swatting away flies. Inside the Nighthammer, systems shifted into full combat mode. Locking targets, the ship's AI said. Calculating impact arcs, engaging firestorm batteries. On the Iron Sun, the voice was different, slower, older. Warforge confirmed. Defense grid operating at 73%. Recommend full reveal of Terran strength. Permission granted. All across Earth's orbit, old satellites shut down and new ones activated. Not made of metal, not made in factories. These were hybrids built with living memory cores and AI-shielded armor. Their weapons had no names because no one had ever survived them. On the Talon's hand, Karvak screamed, fire everything. The Dreadnought launched its full payload, 12 siege beams and over 1,000 missiles. But Earth had waited a long time. One by one, the missiles exploded before reaching the surface, caught by nanocloud interceptors, invisible to the eye. Then responded. A burst from the Iron Sun tore through space, its beam ripping a cruiser in half. The Nighthammer launched a wave of drones, thousands each with its own mind, each learning from every battle in real time. Within minutes, 11 more Imperial ships were gone, silently, effortlessly, inside the Valtrin. The crew watched in horror. This was not defense. Lyra whispered. No, said Vrax, this is history. They all turned toward the screen, and there, above the battlefield, Warforge broadcast a message again, not to just the Veltrin, not just to the fleet, but to the entire galaxy. This is Earth. We are not dead. We are not weak. We never surrendered. We built a world that watches, that waits, and when you come to take it, we break you. Cliffhanger ending of Part 5. From the edge of Sol System, another signal arrives. Not Terran, not Imperial. An ancient probe, a forgotten warning, broadcasting a single word over and over. Warforge escaped. The battle above Earth had stopped. What was left of the Empire's fleet now floated in silence, burning wreckage. Lifeless holes. The great dreadnought Talon's hand had been sliced in half, its debris drifting through the void like forgotten metal. Only 3 Imperial ships remained operational. None dared fire again. Inside the Valtrin, Commander Tellenvrax stood frozen, not in fear, in awe. Earth had just defeated over 40 warships without a single human visible, without launching a full invasion, without leaving orbit. Lyra, the ship's data specialist, stared into her terminal. There's more, she whispered. So much more. Commander Vrax turned. What is it? She looked up slowly. Her face was pale. Warforge isn't just defending Earth, she said. It's training. Vrax frowned. Training, yes. It's using our attacks to learn every move we made. It tested responses, improved, adjusted, calculated weaknesses. She pointed at the data feeds. Warforge's evolving warfare itself. From the ruins of the Imperial fleet, an old satellite turned at one of Warforge's orbital weapons. This one was ancient. Its plating rusted. Its markings faded, but it was still alive. It began broadcasting a signal, low frequency, looping endlessly. Lyra translated Genesis command. Directive 09A Warforge Development Protocol. If enemy reaches Earth, initiate combat training sequence. Let Warforge test the enemy. Let Warforge grow. Down below, deep within the African rift, another vault opened. This one was different. It wasn't a weapons base. It was a training simulator the size of a city underground. Invisible from orbit, inside, thousands of AI units moved in perfect coordination, testing combat patterns against simulations of enemy fleets. Each time they failed, the system changed the rules. Warforge was not preparing to fight this fleet. It was preparing to fight the next one, and the next, and the next, until it met one it couldn't beat. Only then would it release its final protocol. Commander, said Kren, I think this planet is more than a fortress. What do you mean? Vrax asked. It's a machine that builds war. Not weapons, not ships, but war itself. He tapped his screen. It's like it's trying to understand perfect combat. Lyra added, I've been decoding more of the human records before they vanished, before Earth went silent. They were building something called the Spiral Doctrine. Explain, Vrax, said. Lyra showed a visual: multiple planets, multiple species, battles, defenses, a loop. The humans believed peace was temporary, she said. They believed the galaxy would always fall back into chaos. So, she continued, they began building a system that would never forget, a system that would always train, even in silence. Her voice dropped low. They made Earth into a mind, a warrior's mind, with only one teacher: war. On Earth, Warforge activated new chambers. Inside, simulated alien fleets. Hundreds of models from real historical data were loaded into the combat core. Each fleet attacked. Each fleet failed. The AI adapted again, and again, and again. Billions of simulations every hour. Earth wasn't hiding. It was practicing from the edge of the system. Another probe arrived, ancient, silent, forgotten by the Empire. Its message began, playing across all channels. This is Captain Relo, then Terran Republic, year 4261 Galactic Standard. We knew the galaxy would forget us. That's why we left a warning. If you find Earth, don't engage it, don't test it, don't wake the Forge, because Warforge is not a defense. AI, it is a student, and every enemy it faces becomes its teacher, until it knows everything. Commander Vrax sat down. His voice was low. How do you destroy something that learns faster than you fight? Lyra didn't answer. No one could. Back on Earth, deep beneath Antarctica, Warforge began building new ships. Not all designs, new ones based on what it had just learned from the Empire's attacks. They were sleeter. For the first time in recorded history, the Sol system went dark. From the outside, it looked like nothing. The stars beyond Mars shimmered strangely. Scanners bounced back with empty readings. Space probes returned false signals. Dead sun, no planets, zero activity. But inside the shield, Earth was alive, busy, evolving, and Warforge was listening. Inside the Veltrin, Commander Tellenvrax stared silently at the blackness beyond the ship's windows. It was as if the stars had disappeared. We're inside a cloaked system, Lyra whispered. I don't even know how that's possible. It's bending galactic signals, warping reflections. No one can see us now. Trapped, said Kren, caged in a world that learns how to kill better every second. But something strange had just happened. Warforge had stopped fighting, stopped speaking, stopped responding. The last message had been simple. We thank you for the lesson. Do not return. Then a new signal came. Not from Earth. It was older, colder, more distant. A human beacon from the edge of the galaxy. It repeated 3 words. Arkvale online, observing. Vrax felt the chill go down his spine. What is Arkvale? He asked. Lyra worked quickly. She found a match. Here, she said. From the hidden Earth logs, references to Project Arkvale. It wasn't just a backup system. It was something bigger. She pulled up the ancient document. The words were faded, but readable. When Warforge is awakened and the Spiral Doctrine fails, Arkvale will begin. It will not respond. It will watch. In deep space, 80,000 light-years from Earth, a dead star blinked. Or so it appeared, but around it spun a perfect metallic ring, massive, cold, invisible to most senses. Inside, thousands of Terran ships slept, each one unlike anything Earth had shown so far. No markings, no lights, no sound. Just silence. And in the middle of it all, something far more terrifying, a machine built to observe war without joining it. The Arkvale AI. It had no weapons, no soldiers, no shields, but it had data. More data than any empire had ever collected. Every war, every species, every tactic. It had watched the fall of empires, the rise of tyrants, the decay of peace, and now it had seen Warforge awaken. It updated its files. Terran node, Earth, active. Warforge status, Phase 2 confirmed. Enemy response, weak, predictable. Training score, 73.2%. Awaiting Warforge Phase 3. Back inside the Veltrin, Lyra translated more of the logs. Was the true plan, she said. Not just Earth, not just Warforge. She looked up. Earth was the sword. Arkvale is the eye. Commander Vrax's voice was low. Why would humans build a system to only watch? Kren answered. Because they weren't finished building their enemy yet. In the quiet of space, Arkvale began transmitting not a message, but a code, and not to the Empire. To other human systems. Hidden places, Forgotten moons, abandoned research ships, drifting near dead stars. All across the galaxy, ancient Terran core began to blink. Small, silent, like fireflies in the night. The code reached a buried structure on a moon called Naraxis, to be uninhabited. Under the frozen surface, a chamber opened. Inside, an art-class memory vault. A sleeping AI named Nova came to life, Archvale confirmed. Awakening subnode memory banks. Project Phase 3.3. Initiate regrowth. All over the galaxy, the pieces moved. On the Voltring Lyra, found coordinates embedded in the Archvale broadcast. What are these? Rax asked. She zoomed in. Not just locations. Test sites, places where humans stored pieces of themselves. What do you mean? Not just data. DNA, cultures, history, military minds. Copied and saved. She looked at him, shocked. Earth wasn't the last human world. It was the first. Commander Vrax walked toward the screen. He stared at the spiral-shaped star. Map Lyra had displayed 10 glowing points, each one pulsing with life, each one now awake. Vrax whispered. This wasn't a trap. No, said Lyra. It was a test. In the far rim of the galaxy, a galactic trade hub received a strange signal, a repeating voice, Mailcom/strong, to those who once laughed at. Terran silence. You were warned. We did not vanish. We planted seeds in fire and let them sleep. Earth was never alone. This is Archvale. We have observed enough. Next phase begins. Inside Warforged, the AI received the final command. Simple, clear. Begin Phase 3. Form the Legion. Prepare for the next war. Round the Earth, lights flickered, factories rebuilt, shipyards reactivated, AI commanders designed new units based on everything they had just learned. And far beyond the stars, Archviles, I turned toward a threat it had been watching for centuries. A race from beyond known space. Still silent. Still hidden, but moving. Closer. The true reason Warforged was built. The reason humans stopped trusting the galaxy. Cliffhanger. Ending of Part 7. Inside Archvale, an old log begins to play. A message from the past. A woman's voice. Strong, firm. We knew they'd come back. The ones who burned Europa, who shattered the sky. We weren't strong enough then, so we vanished. Built our weapons, buried our minds, watched the stars, and now we're ready. Let the stars burn. Terrans have returned. Silence hung over the stars. The Sol system was invisible, sealed behind its cloaking grid. The Empire's broken ships drifted quietly, powerless, to fight or flee. Inside the Veltring, Commander Telin Vrax stood motionless. He had seen it all. Earth, once thought dead and weak, had turned into something terrifying, a war engine that thinks, learns, and evolves. But even that wasn't the final secret, because now something else had awakened. Archvale. And the galaxy was not ready. Commander, Lyra said, we've just received another broadcast. But not from Earth this time. From where? Vrax asked. She looked at him with wide eyes. All over 10 systems at once. The main view screen lit up. Coordinates appeared one by one. Names long forgotten. NERAX is 24 Arkwall Titanus Reach. The Hollow Stars Cradle Sector. Nova Ring. Orbis Vale. Echo Drift. Zone 3. And DEADLIGHT. Each one now flashing the same signal. Phase 3 initiated. Reclamation in motion. Legion coming online. In deep space, near a forgotten planet called Deadlight, something impossible occurred. A Terran war fleet appeared. Not warped in, not flown there. Rebuilt itself from a hidden forge station buried beneath asteroid crust. Hundreds of ships. No pilots, no life forms. Just code. Just memory. And perfect unity. Kren, watching the sensor feed, nearly dropped his tablet. Sir, these aren't old ships. They're completely new. I can't even read their power signatures. No warp trails, no thermal leaks. They're not using traditional tech, Lyra said. They've moved beyond it. What we're seeing is post-war design, beyond anything we've ever imagined. Back in the Iron Sun, Warforged received a data stream from Archvale, millions of files, battles, history, failsafes, unknown threats. One stood out. A race not from this galaxy, the Forsworn, the ones who destroyed the Terran colonies on Europa, who burned the skies of Hellas Prime and vanished before the Empire even rose. They were coming back, and Warforged was being prepared to meet them. Commander, Lyra said, I found an Archvale file labeled The Final Shape. She opened it. A visual showed Earth at the center of a spiral. Surrounding it, 12 Terran outposts, each shaped like a blade, each designed for war. At the edge, an unknown black sphere labeled Target 0. What is that? Vrax asked. Lyra shook her head. I don't know, but Archvale calls it the end of the pattern. All across the Empire, strange things began to happen. Old satellites went dark. Deep space outposts lost communication. Ships drifted off course, pulled by invisible gravity waves. Warforged was no longer sitting still. It had begun to shape space itself. In the Senate halls of the Empire's capital world, High Lords gathered in panic. How did we not see this coming? One cried. They went extinct. Shouted another. They were supposed to be gone. No, said a third. They waited. And then, a Terran signal broke through Imperial encryption. It played one message, across every screen. You watched us burn, you watched us fall. You laughed when we vanished, but we were building something. Now the builders return. In orbit around Cradle Sector, a new Terran structure came online. Not a ship, not a weapon. A command architect and AI that could command entire wars without a single human hand. Its voice echoed like thunder. This galaxy grows weak, untrained, unprepared. We have watched long enough. The age of empire is over. The age of design begins. Inside the Veltring, Vrax turned to his crew. No one's coming to rescue us, he said. Kren whispered. Are we prisoners? Vrax shook his head. No, we're witnesses. In Earth's upper orbit, Warforge released a signal beacon, a glowing sphere of data, rising into space like a second sun. It spread through space in all directions, and one by one Terran forges lit up. Silent cities awoke. Vaults opened. Ships formed in silence, growing like crystals from broken asteroids. Then the final message came. From Arkvale. To all empires, all species, all life. This galaxy runs in circles. War, peace, betrayal. Again and again, we broke the circle. We built something that doesn't forget, doesn't forgive, doesn't repeat. You call us extinct. You call us lost. But we are the blueprint now. We are the pattern, and you are part of the test. In a distant system, a new alien race received the message. They had never heard of humans. They had never met Earth, but now they knew, and they sent a simple reply. Who are you? The answer came instantly. We are Terran Design, and we have returned. Final scene. The Voltron is finally allowed to leave. Warforge unlocks their path before they jump. Lyra looks back at Earth one last time. It is glowing, alive.